Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today I want to talk about one of the finest singers of all time, and that's Rhode Island's own Jeffrey Osborne. Rhode Island, not a place necessarily known for music, but in his case, it most definitely is. The first group that he was in was called LTD, and in the mid-70s, they had so many wonderful hits. My favorite is Love Ballad, which, as the name suggests, is one of the finest ballads of all time. It was later on sampled by De La Soul in the very early 2000s. Again, a proof of concept, if you will, proof of a song's longevity and its versatility. But it really is one of the finest ever. But LTD had a lot of other hits. Holding On When Love Is Gone is a really upbeat one. And it was a few years after that, in the early 80s, that instead of sharing vocal duties with the other members of LTD, that he decided to go out on his own as a solo artist. And he didn't really miss a step, not stylistically, not in terms of his vocal range. And there was something about his voice, because he's still going strong, that was really interesting because of its depth. As people who watch this channel know, I tend to like people with the lower register of the vocal range because it provides more versatility when done correctly. A low voice, when sung with power and sung with good dynamic control, can do things to the audience emotionally and in terms of vigor and excitement that others just cannot do. And he absolutely was able to do that. Now, his first album as a solo artist, self-titled Jeffrey Osborne from '82, was a big hit. It had I Really Don't Need No Light, which was a hit, and On the Wings of Love, which was a huge hit that he, of course, co-wrote. Say that three times fast. His second album, again, went from strength to strength. Stay With Me, wonderful musicians on, frankly, all of his albums. On this album, you had Paul Jackson, you had Brian May, of all people. You had another great guitarist, Earl Klug. You had Alphonso Johnson, one of my favorite bass players ever. George Duke, one of the finest keyboard players ever. Leon Ware, Steve Ferrone, great drummer. The list keeps on going. Again, as a solo artist, he really surrounded himself with great musicians. A similarly wonderful lineup on his next album, Don't Stop, from '84. And it was in '86 that he actually came out with what I think is in many ways his quintessential solo album, even though they're all wonderful. And again, a wonderful cast of musicians on this one. But this one, called Emotional, has such a wide variety of interesting songs. And the song in particular that I find to be his finest, in my view, is the fifth track on this Emotional album, and it is called Room with a View. It is one of the most uplifting songs ever. And it wasn't a single, it wasn't a hit, but this album track from 1986 is something that could have and frankly should have been number one on the R&B and the pop charts. It was just that good. Um, the other songs on this album, really good. Emotional, the title track, really good chord changes. Brilliant, brilliant track. You Should Be Mine was something of a hit from this album. In Your Eyes, not the Peter Gabriel version, but another song of the same name, which was big. And he kept on recording throughout the '80s and into the '90s, and his voice remains really, really good. There's actually a video of him singing the national anthem at a relatively recent NBA All-Star game, and you can really tell without any backing, just a cappella, just how wonderful Jeffrey Osborne's voice is. Oh boy. So, check out LTD, check out Jeffrey Osborne's solo material. You will not be disappointed. It's all really good stuff. As always, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.